So this is my statue collection at this point. I do some 3D printing to repair statues, make some of my own. So I got a little bit of a mess over the side. I had to move my printer out of my office because the fumes are just not something I need to have around me at all times. But my first piece is the Daniel Bell sculpted Batman Beyond. A beautiful piece. I've had it for probably about 2 years now, I gotta say. Absolutely beautiful piece. It's sorry. It is remarkably cool colors. The design is awesome with him launching off from the back with like his rocket boots. It's got the classic head, but I'm not a big fan of the classic head. I kind of like this Daniel Bell's own interpretation. The wings are just phenomenal. They're very fragile. The hands come off, the head comes off. It's a very nice statue. Not sure what they could have done different. It just feels like it's missing a little something, but it is phenomenal, and the anatomy is just perfection. And then we got Kyle Rayner, and that's the one I reviewed a couple weeks ago, but this piece is just still mind-blowing. Every time anyone comes to see my house, they are immediately drawn to this one now, and through the holiday season, it just got a lot of attention from people. Stunning piece, though. Probably the most impressive piece I have to this point. I mean, I've got some nice ones, but this one definitely, this tells quite a story. And the colors just pop. And we got the Batman Who Laughs. And that's the Sideshow Batman that laughs. And beautiful piece. The paint, and you can see the veins underneath. They just did a great mix of translucent paints. And it just has like a real maniacal feeling to him. Feels like there's makeup and skin change to the actual statue. And they got the wrinkles in the hands. I mean, the leather work is insane. You know, there's a couple things like some of the like dripping blood and rust down here. You know, they're a little too perfect. But overall, the statue is just remarkably done. I know there's a lot of complaints with his like crown of spikes and his kind of bat cowl-esque thing. I like the look of it. I wish it had more of a metal feel to it. It's a little too much rust, but when you stand back from it, you can hardly tell. It just looks incredible. The statue itself is unbelievable. And actually, when I got it with the idea that I probably wasn't going to end up keeping it. I just wanted to see it in person, and then once I saw it in person, I couldn't get rid of it. And then this is the Joker. And this is actually one I'm rebuilding right now. I got it just completely broken, missing one of the legs. I think it was this leg was missing. And I was able to 3D print and sculpt it back in. I did a full repaint of the suit to go with a better shade of purple. I had to sculpt the tails of his suit coat. Printed out a new hand. I'm working on the rest of the pogo stick right now. And then also had to reattach this leg. But great piece. Glad I got it. It's been a fun repair. Difficult, but a lot of fun. We got Darkseid. And I did a repaint on Darkseid. Not all parts of it. But the factory paint was pretty... It was all the same color. They really didn't put any highlights, lowlights, anything into it. So I went through and I just touched it up, brought some more colors in, changed a lot of the stone color of his arms, his legs, put a lot more definition into them. or highlighted the definition that was sculpted in there. It was it's a Martin Canali sculpt, and he is very detailed with his sculpts. And I felt like they just drowned out all the work he did. So I really went through and made sure to get the shading so you could really see the sculpt, and it's a beautiful piece. Just definitely needed some rework. And also on the other head, which I will show in the review, I want to get out all the swap outs for each piece later. But I redid the other face and painted the teeth because that one just looked awful. It looks pretty cool now that it's been repainted. And then we have Bane, the Daniel Bell Bane. Stunning piece. This one, no adjustments. It just perfect. Once I got it, I was going to either keep this one or the original Sideshow Bane, and the moment I got this one, the moment I opened it, the other one was being packed up to be sent away. I sold it. I love Bane. Bane's my favorite Batman villain, but only really need one piece of his. And then, actually, I'll show you. So right now, I got a Scarecrow body, and I got some pieces that I'm currently in the process of building out to rebuild him. I was able to get him for a good price, someone getting rid of it, and just always like a project. And we got Wonder Woman. This was my first rebuild. When I got her, she had no hands, no belt, no back with swords. The legs were completely shattered, so I had to cut this leg off and reattach and fix all of it. The whole front of this leg was missing. The paint was all messed up, so I had to go through and repaint the body. The head, I had to redo some of the hair. Not the best. I'll probably go back through and redo it. This one took a lot of work, but it turned out great. And then Cyborg, which that was my first full reprint, or full 3D print and paint up. I still got to put the eyes in, do some detail work, but overall I think he turned out great. I printed out the base at 1/6 scale, which he has a lot of lean. I've had to really work on keeping him upright. Still got to figure the rest of that out and how to improve that, but the piece itself is pretty phenomenal. And then this is another print, and that's Aquaman. I've dropped this Aquaman piece like 6 times and completely shattered him. But I keep rebuilding them, and now he finally has the base. I'm still working on it, but I got, the base colors down for the shark, and I'll get going on that. I just haven't been able to paint very much lately. Just haven't had time with work and kids and all that. And then that Superman was a 3D print. That was the first one I got before I had a 3D printer. I had a friend print it out. I think he turned out great. His skin tones need some work, and I still gotta fix the base and paint up the crystals. Then we got Batman, the Martin Canali Batman from Sideshow. This is a beautiful piece. I loved it when I got it, and each time I look at it, I just find a new detail that I really, really do love about it. The face is phenomenal. Just a very simple but imposing figure. Really meshes well with the rest of my pieces. We got the Daniel Bell Flash. Not as much forward lean as when they first announced them, but still turned out phenomenal. My kids love that one. They're giant Flash fans though, but got the cold gun. He's got swap out earpieces, which I'll go through in my review when I go into the review. But the cement work looks great. His boots really pop with that yellow. And then I have a couple Marvel pieces, mainly just because Thor. And I I can't bring myself to get rid of Thor, even though I don't collect Marvel. So I have a couple pieces around it. This Wolverine was a complete rebuild. I took different faces and just repainted them. Had to completely rebuild this knee and parts of the Sentinel hand. Still got to do the thumb. I sculpted out hands for him. Before I had the printer, I repainted his suit, redid some of the blues. I had to sand down the faces because I didn't like the upper lip, and then put in my own claws for it, which that was difficult. I think he turned out pretty awesome. And then Silver Surfer from Daniel Bell from Sideshow. Beautiful piece. I got this in just a trade. I was trading off some of my older, smaller statues and was able to pick him up. And just love Silver Surfer. Always been a fan ever since the Nintendo game. But it's a stunning piece. I wish he had the full board, but it really does tell a story. I like that. I like my pieces telling stories. And then we got Thor. So down here I have the actual Thor's head. And then up here is the Thor's head I put in my own beard, which was challenging because the wings on his helmet didn't want to fit. So I had to take those out. And it was a lot of reworking. But I think it turned out pretty nice. It's just an incredible piece. Him jumping out of Surtur's, or like over Surtur's head. The fabric looks real. The posable cape I like a posable cape. I think it gives you a lot of options. And then Captain America, I know not many people are fans of this piece. I love it. I think it's great. I mean, elements of it are not wonderful. His neck, his posture is kind of strange. His hands are too small. But I've done a couple customs with him. I have one where he's holding Thor's hammer. I've got the flag one. I've got a gun one somewhere that I made myself because this is not the exclusive. And then the shield that came with the other more triangle shield like this. I bought that one separate, but it's too small. But the one it came with is awful. Sideshow really, it's just a terrible, terrible shield. So it's never been displayed with it, never will be. But overall, I think it's a pretty underrated piece. It gets a lot of hate when I think there's a lot to love about it. And then that is a Poison Ivy piece I've just been putting together, figuring out what I want to do with it. And then my last piece is the Prime 1 with Sideshow Collectibles Batman New 52. This piece is just incredible. It's heavy. It's incredibly heavy. He's jumping out the window. The window looks like actual broken glass. Just every part of it was just put together so brilliantly. Even the grinning face. I wasn't a fan, but I actually just started displaying it with the more serious face, or the closed mouth recently. I usually have it with the mouth open, which is the one I didn't think I would like as much, but it turned out awesome. My only real complaint with this piece is this area of the cape. There's just no definition through here. It doesn't need it. I mean, it's still absolutely remarkable. But it would have helped if there was more definition coming through. And then my other issue is the cape kind of comes down flat on the sides, which it wouldn't from him actually jumping. The way his shoulders are turned, this top part of the cape should be longer than the bottom, so it should kind of come in more. But that said, it looks amazing. So small critiques of a brilliant piece. This one is just tough though because I don't want to get rid of it, but even if I did, with current shipping rates, is 2 gigantic boxes that weigh a ton. So this one's here to stay. Most of these are though, but that's my collection. So that's the Justice League as I'm building it right now. I'm working on a Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter. I'm gonna try to get in there. See who else I fit in. Then a couple of my villains with Scarecrow yet to come. My Marvel pieces, and then once I expand out, I'm still in a newer house, so I'm still working on my display options. I will expand it out so all the Justice League will be on one shelf going across. But also, I think I'm going to move my office from where I currently have it. This was just the best spot to have an office right now. But that's my collection. I appreciate anyone that watches this. Still working on figuring out how to edit and do all that stuff so I can have a better videos moving forward. But I just figured I'd show my collection, share my thoughts. That's it. Have a great day.